plastic pollutants from the source to the sea. Also mitigate the climate and plastic pollution at our coastal areas within our member governments. And I'm happy to inform you, delegates, that the first milestone of this project was achieved with the development of the IGAD Regional Blue Strategy, which was unanimously adopted by our government in 2022 in Addis Ababa. The other agenda that we would be happy to report is that we developed national blue economy strategies which are aligned to the IGAD Regional Blue Strategy, but also to the AU blue economy as required structurally within the regional economic communities, but also as part of the AU agenda. These big milestones within the region has opened a very big opportunity for us to resource mobilize for blue economy in our countries. Another important development and achievement is that the African region has a wealth of knowledge and experience in the blue economic sector, and you can, see for yourself the pool of experts in this room, and therefore we want to discuss, we want to share information and document this expertise that we do have in the region, but also disseminate this in the region so that we are able to learn new concepts within the continent and use that concept, the information, the data that we would have generated from this forum to make better decisions from this for blue economy. It is again on this background that IGAD, AU, IPA, and the EcoFish program are joining forces to organize this blue economy knowledge share fair between today and the 16th of this week here in Mombasa, Kenya, and we say thank you to the Mombasa County Government for hosting us. This 3-4 days event would be looking at leveraging the blue economy, through efficient, large-scale fishery management and aquatic biodiversity, as you can see from the billboards and the banners that are here. The planned share fair will help in strengthening the IGAD Secretariat Knowledge Management Unit to ensure that member states access this information and that we are able to share with all our stakeholders. With that, I want to assure you all, particularly the Kenya government and the partners who are here, who are co-hosting this event with us, IGAD's dedication to sustaining this kind of joint platforms and bringing different sectors together and players so that we are able to better manage our knowledge. And finally, Excellencies, I would like to take this opportunity to thank AU, IPA, EcoFish team and the IGAD experts here for organizing this wonderful event. We hope that this will take the region forward so that we are able to manage our blue economy. With that, thank you very much. And before I hand over the mic, MC, allow me to invite His Excellency Ambassador Kamal, who was invited here as the chair of IGAD, but as you've seen from the social media, we had a change of governance and that he is now the former chair of IGAD to give us few remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fatuma. And thank you for the invitation. I am Ambassador Kamal Jubara, Ambassador of Sudan in Kenya. Sudan, the former chair of IGAD. Yesterday, the chairman of IGAD became Djibouti. Congratulations for Djibouti to lead IGAD in the coming 2 years. Let me start by thanking the County of Mombasa for hosting this important event. His Excellency Honorable Abdul Samad, Sharif, Governor of Mombasa, His Excellency Honorable Isa Timami, Governor of Lamu, Her Excellency Dr. Fatuma, Director of IGAD Office in Kenya, all the sponsors and supporters of this event, building the Africa we want by leveraging blue economy, small-scale fisheries management, and aquatic biodiversity conservation. Allow me also to thank the African Union, represented by the Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources, also the Indian Ocean Commission, the Swedish government for financing this event and by supporting always the activities of the blue economy in IGAD. As you know, every country in IGAD started to have their national blue economy strategy, including Sudan, and also other member states of IGAD, by bringing together the national blue economy strategies and having such forum for discussion, exchange of ideas and experiences. I think IGAD will benefit by having more ideas and more and better strategies for the blue economy in this important organization. Allow me to thank all the participants for exerting effort, all the papers made, and we are here actually to exchange ideas and experience and to form a better future for our economies in IGAD and elsewhere. IGAD, by becoming stronger economically, that will serve the cooperation with other parts of the world. My congratulations to all of you for having time to participate in this important event, and Sudan is ready to give its support. As you know, our blue economy is quite big. We have the Red Sea, and also many rivers inside the country, as many other IGAD countries. So cooperating together as governments, as private sector, as intellectuals, as researchers, that will help the economy of IGAD. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the success in this important event. Thank you.
We can see there's a lot to learn in the blue economy and a lot of potential. How are we turning this potential into reality in the face of the challenges that we see of climate change, modernization, and globalization? And so we continue hearing from the regional bodies, and therefore we are going to call Mr. Dave Okay, Director of IOC, Indian Ocean Commission, to come and give us the remarks. Please welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Sosro. Honorable Isa Imam, Honorable Abdul Samad Sharif Qasir, His Excellency Salim Mouhouria, His Excellency Dr. Fatuma Adam, representative of the IGAD to the Republic of Kenya, Mrs. Helen Mwepi Guebama, Mr. Madev Alu, representative of the European Union and partner to the IOC and other regional organizations of the continent. Allow me at the very outset to present to you the apology of the Secretary General, who is actually Comoros, qui est en train de voir avec le président de l'Union africaine, comment s'organiser pour sortir une feuille de route sur le partage d'expériences et connaissances sur l'économie bleue, la gestion de la pêche artisanale et la conservation de la biodiversité marine. Mais cette partie, c'est un sous-thème de la grande conférence qui a lieu en ce moment au Comore sur la grande muraille de l'économie bleue que le président en exercice de l'Union africaine, M. Azali, veut mettre en exergue en collaboration avec les pays membres de la Commission de l'océan Indien et ceux du littoral du continent africain. Cette initiative de la Grande Muraille Bleue à l'échelle du continent est un événement d'envergure du continent et c'est en simultané que nous avons aujourd'hui cette conférence de partage d'expérience. Et j'ose espérer que les recommandations qui sortiront de cet événement d'aujourd'hui et de la semaine feront partie des recommandations ou de la déclaration ministérielle de cet événement de la Grande Muraille au Comore. Mesdames et Messieurs, Excellences, tout protocole observé, l'économie bleue offre aujourd'hui en effet des opportunités considérables pour le développement économique de l'Afrique, car elle permet d'exploiter de manière responsable les ressources aquatiques dont nous disposons. Permettez-moi de vous présenter quelques chiffres et éléments clés qui illustrent l'ampleur de ces opportunités. Tout d'abord, nos ressources marines. L'Afrique bénéficie d'une vaste zone économique exclusive qui s'étend sur environ 13 millions de kilomètres carrés. Ces eaux abritent de riches ressources marines dont la pêche, les minéraux, les énergies renouvelables et les ressources énergétiques. Exploiter ces ressources de manière durable permet de stimuler la croissance économique et de favoriser la création d'emplois. La pêche artisanale et l'aquaculture sur le continent africain et les pays insulaires de l'Afrique jouent un rôle vital dans les économies côtières africaines, avec une production annuelle de poissons qui s'élève à environ 5,2 millions de tonnes et d'une valeur d'environ de 5,4 milliards de dollars américains. La pêche et l'aquaculture offrent des opportunités d'emploi et de revenus à des millions d'Africains, contribuant ainsi à la réduction de la pauvreté et à la sécurité alimentaire sur l'échelle du continent. Par ailleurs, le tourisme côtier constitue un secteur en plein essor. Les ressources marines et côtières, telles que les plages, les récifs coralliens, la faune marine attirent de nombreux touristes chaque année. En 2019, l'Afrique a accueilli 71,2 millions de touristes internationaux, dont une part importante était attirée par les attractions côtières. Le développement de l'économie bleue peut renforcer davantage ce potentiel. Les intervenants avant moi ont attiré l'attention sur le phénomène de climat qui affecte aussi et qui tente à affecter cette économie qui découle de l'économie bleue sur le continent africain. En outre, l'économie bleue offre un énorme potentiel pour le développement de l'énergie renouvelable. Les ressources énergétiques marines, telles que l'énergie des vagues, des marées et des courants, ainsi que l'énergie éolienne offshore, peuvent contribuer à diversifier le mix énergétique et à répondre aux besoins croissants en électricité sur le continent. Je me souviens, quelque temps de cela, nos amis malgaches sont dans la salle. Le ministère des Affaires étrangères de Madagascar, participant à une réunion de la SADC sur le développement des énergies renouvelables, avait même parlé de la production d'énergie à Madagascar pour être exportée sur le continent africain. Tout le monde était surpris, mais comment ça pouvait se faire? Mais aujourd'hui, j'apprends à travers l'IRENA et d'autres organisations qui s'occupent de l'énergie renouvelable que cela est faisable. Il suffit de les stocker dans une batterie et de les emmener à bon port. Mesdames et messieurs, cette énergie, les ressources énergétiques marines telles que les énergies des vagues, des marées et des courants ainsi que les éoliennes offshore peuvent contribuer à diversifier le mix énergétique et à répondre aux besoins croissants de l'électricité sur le continent. Cette transition vers des sources énergétiques propres est essentielle pour lutter contre le changement climatique et la promotion d'un développement durable. Enfin, les ports africains jouent un rôle crucial dans le commerce international, car ils facilitent l'importation et les exportations des biens et services aussi. Selon la conférence des Nations Unies sur le commerce et le développement, environ 90% du commerce africain est assuré par la mer. Le développement de l'économie bleue peut donc stimuler ce commerce maritime, renforcer les infrastructures portuaires et faciliter l'intégration économique régionale. Les chiffres, mesdames et messieurs, que je viens de vous présenter démontrent clairement que cette initiative revêt une importance capitale pour le continent africain. Les échanges d'expériences et de connaissances favorisent un apprentissage mutuel, car les bonnes pratiques, le succès et les échecs sont mis en commun en vue d'améliorer les politiques, les programmes et les projets de développement. Cela permet d'éviter la duplication des erreurs, de capitaliser sur les approches qui ont fait leur preuve. Les échanges des connaissances stimulent également l'innovation en exposant les acteurs du développement à de nouvelles idées, méthodologies et technologies. Cela aide à trouver de nouvelles approches et solutions aux défis de développement auxquels nous sommes confrontés. De plus, les échanges d'expériences permettent d'adapter les connaissances et les pratiques existantes aux contextes locaux spécifiques, en prenant en compte les particularités culturelles, économiques et gouvernementales de chaque pays. Cela favorise une mise en œuvre plus efficace des politiques et programmes de développement, puisqu'ils deviennent pertinents et durables. En tant qu'organisation intergouvernementale, la Commission de l'océan Indien s'appuie sur ces éléments qui viennent d'être cités, à savoir l'apprentissage mutuel, l'innovation, l'adaptation, la collaboration pour mettre en œuvre ces initiatives de développement au niveau de la région. Nous avons donc une raison de plus pour encourager vivement ce type d'échange et nous exprimons notre gratitude envers les organisations ainsi que tous les participants. Je tiens à remercier particulièrement nos partenaires, IGAL, l'UA-IBA, pour leur participation active à l'organisation de cet événement. J'aimerais aussi exprimer ma gratitude envers le COMESA, la CEA, la SADC, l'Agence du lac Tanganyika, l'Organisation de la pêcherie du lac Victoria, la CPOI et la Commission des pêches du Sud-Ouest de l'océan Indien pour la mise en œuvre du programme EcoFish, à travers lequel la COI co-organise cet événement. Je tiens enfin à remercier l'Union européenne qui, à travers EcoFish, manifeste un intérêt particulier au secteur régional des pêches et plus largement au développement d'une économie bleue génératrice de croissance, pourvoyeuse d'emplois et respectueuse de l'équilibre écologique. En guise de conclusion, permettez-moi, mesdames et messieurs, de partager avec vous les grands chantiers que la Commission de l'océan Indien envisage de mettre en place. En particulier, un institut des métiers de la mer, accompagné d'un grand programme de formation professionnelle pour un public cible d'environ 350 millions de jeunes de la région de l'Est et du Sud-Afrique et de l'océan Indien. Au nom, mesdames et messieurs, de la Commission de l'océan Indien, je souhaite à tous une fructueuse échange, riche en connaissances, et merci de votre écoute.
if we keep on learning, there's a lot of potential in the blue spaces, there's a lot of opportunities in the blue spaces, and we have to start looking, how do we get this information of the interactions that are necessary for us to move forward to transform Africa. And so thank you very much for those remarks that have shown us how far and the initiatives under the IUC. I take this opportunity to welcome the representative from African Union AU-IBA, Mrs. Helen Moepi Webang. Please stay. Appreciate her, please, as she comes.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. The Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Salim Mvurya, represented by Dr. Rodrick Apundu, the Governor of Lamu, Kenya, Honorable Isa Timani, the Governor of Mombasa, Honorable Sharif Nasir, the Head of Mission IGAD, Dr. Fatuma Adam, the Project Manager, European Union, Mr. Madev Balu, a representative of the various African Union member states, the non-state actors, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Acting Director of AU-IBA, Dr. Nick Nwampa, I bring you warm greetings from the city of Nairobi, where the office is housed. I'm honored to also convey the greetings from Her Excellency Ambassador Yosefa Sako, the Commissioner for Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment. And I also bring greetings from the Director of African Union, also Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources. AU-IBA is extremely delighted to be part of this maiden continental initiative to enhance development of the Africa we want. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, AU-IBA is a technical office under the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment, DABE, of the African Union Commission. We are charged with promoting the coordination and utilization of all animal resources, that is your livestock, fisheries, bees, aquaculture, and wildlife for the benefit of African citizens. Recently, the mandate has also been extended to the blue economy development in the African continent. As you may be well aware, the African continent is endowed with highly productive marine ecosystem, including the networks of. And we also have what we call the 7 African large marine ecosystems, LMEs. We have Agalas Current, LME, Benguela Current, LME, the Guinea Current, Canary Current, Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea, and Somali Current. This ecosystem team with significant number of biodiversity and provide sources of livelihood, food security, and wealth to the majority of Africans. There is therefore no doubt that the African Union Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, which is the strategic framework for the socio-economic transformation of the African continent, emphasizes the importance of harnessing the potential of Africa's aquatic endowments for the transformative growth as described in the aspiration number 1, as well as the goal number 6, which prioritizes the blue economy. This is aligned to efforts towards achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals aimed at tackling the global climate crisis, extreme hunger and poverty, as well as human rights abuses. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, despite their crucial role for cultural and economic development, aquatic biodiversity and environment and ecosystems are highly threatened by unsustainable exploitation and other practices that risk our continued supply of ecosystem services. The blue economic concept has thus been embraced globally to promote the sustainable use of aquatic resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods and jobs, as well as enhancement of aquatic ecosystem health. Consequently, the African continent has instituted various efforts towards developing the various sectors of the blue economy. Spearheaded by the AU-IBA, the African Blue Economy Strategy was launched under the theme Developing a Sustainable Blue Economy, Increasing Momentum for Africa's Blue Growth, with the objective of guiding the development of an inclusive and sustainable blue economy that becomes a significant contributor to continental transformation and growth through a number of methods. The first one is in advancing knowledge on marine and aquatic biotechnology, environmental sustainability, the growth of Africa-wide shipping industry, the development of sea, river, and lake transportation, the management of fishing activities on these aquatic spaces, and lastly, the exploitation and beneficiation of deep sea minerals and other resources. Furthermore, we have what we call the Policy Framework and Reform Strategy for Fisheries and Aquaculture in Africa, which was adopted by the 23rd Summit of African Heads of State and Government in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, June 2014. And the main objective of this policy document is to create a conducive and enabling environment for the fisheries sector in Africa to create equitable social and economic development. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, these strategic documents, among many others, have translated into practical projects being implemented across the AU member states, as well as the regional economic communities in Africa. We are currently implementing the Fisheries Governance Project, which is funded by the European Union, as well as the Aquatic Biodiversity Conservation Project funded by the Swedish International Development Agency, SIDA. And these are the examples that AU-IBA is currently implementing. The same projects make provision for a platform for establishing strong partnerships and collaborations with national, regional, and continental projects to minimize duplication and generate synergies in interventions. Coupled with recommendations from our project steering and technical committee meetings, we extract key messages emanating from these various project activities into knowledge products to inform the wider public use. And I'm particularly delighted today to witness this knowledge share fair happening here in Mombasa today. And AU-IBA is proud to co-organize this August event together with IGAD and EcoFish program as a first step towards sharing knowledge, experiences, lessons learned, and good practices from the implementation of these projects on continental level, mainly to enhance the sustainable development of African blue economy. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as the sages say, knowledge is power. I dare say that we are about to capture the power by the horn as we have convened here today to acquire knowledge over the next 3 days. I invite you to all approach the AU-IBA booth to learn more about what we do, and more importantly, to partner with us to achieve more. On behalf of the Acting Director, AU IBA, Dr. Nick Nwampa, I'd like to thank IGAD and Ecofish Program for collaborating with AU IBA to pull off this strategic event. I believe that together we can develop a robust blue economies across the continent to achieve the goals of the Agenda 2063 as well as the SDGs. Special thanks to the government of Kenya, particularly the CS and our two governors present in this house to host us in this beautiful historic coastal town of Mombasa, and also for supporting this initiative. Our sincere gratitude also goes to our development partners, the EU and CEDA, for supporting us amicably. To all our partners and delegates from the various member states present here with us, we say thank you. Asante sana. Your presence here with us today is a clear demonstration of your commitment and dedication in supporting transformation of the African continent for the benefit of all. I wish you all a fruitful event. Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's becoming very clear to us that there is a lot that we can do, and we will need the institutions, and you can see the institutions which are regional being with us and giving us their priorities. We will also need partners to be able to help us move forward, because there's a lot of funding that is required and a lot of knowledge also that is required. Remember, the biggest temptation is that competing and to move forward, and at the same time ensuring sustainability, ensuring a healthy ecosystem, that the biodiversity is maintained to be able to have living spaces. The blue spaces must be alive to be able to keep us alive. And therefore, for human being to remain alive and to remain healthy, he must take care of the blue spaces even as we develop. But the temptation is, if I find coal and I think that I can get the shilling or the money immediately, and the ecosystem service, I may not understand the ecosystem service, and therefore I would rather go for the money, isn't it? And that is where we are at that crossroad. But thank you so much for the initiatives that have become clear. And therefore, we will need partners. And at this time, I want to invite Mr. Madhav Balu, the project manager of the EU, as one of the important partners. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. His Excellency, Mr. Salim Mburia, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir, Governor of Mombasa, Honorable Issa Timami, Governor of Lamu, Her Excellency Dr. Fatuma Adam, IGAD Head of Mission to the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Dave Fokia, Director of Indian Ocean Commission, Mrs. Helen Moipi-Gwebama, representative of AUIBA, representatives of the regional organizations, SADC, COMESA, and the Eastern African Community, and the inland fisheries organizations, from Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization and Lake Tanganyika. So dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, the European Union is very pleased to be associated with this knowledge and experience sharing fair. I think we must admit that this is one of the biggest events that the Ecofish program is organizing together with its partners since the beginning of the project. And I'm sure this is the first, but we can expect more to come in the month ahead. So after 4 years of implementation, I don't think there is a need for me to remind that the Ecofish program, as a cross-regional initiative of the European Union, has a very ambitious objective, that of supporting sustainable fisheries in the Eastern Africa, Southern Africa, and Indian Ocean region. And today, we would like to commend the organizers and the partners, notably AU-IBAR, IGAD, the Indian Ocean Commission, the Ecofish team, and SIDA, for bringing so many eminent personalities from the fisheries sector together. But most important, we also gather today representatives of our artisanal fishing community from the region to share their knowledge and experience on leveraging blue economy through sustainable fisheries management. The title of the forum is very telling: to build the Africa we want. And let me remind you that the European Commission had launched a joint communication in 2020 under the title Towards a Comprehensive Strategy with Africa. This joint communication recognizes that new prospects and challenges are emerging from economic, political, social, technological, demographic, climate, and environmental changes in Africa. It calls for partnership with Africa to tackle together the challenges of the 21st century and to further our common interest and future. In partnership with Africa, therefore, the European Union has committed to encourage better ocean governance, including the development of a sustainable fisheries and blue economy. The European Union is ready to scale up the fight against illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing to address the environmental threat it poses to the sustainability of fish stocks, the profits of fishermen, and coastal communities who follow the rules. Over the next 4 days, therefore, we will see how our support for the Ecofish program to the small-scale projects, sustainable fisheries at grassroots level are relevant and effective, thanks to their direct link with the fisheries operators and communities. We have seen on the ground how some of these actions are changing the lives of people, both women and men, but of course without forgetting the youth. Our presence here this week has one key objective. Our projects have been intervening at local level. We now need to escalate them to a regional dimension, and which is why we are here with all our partners, as we expect to develop a very strong networking mechanism during this knowledge experience sharing fair. And it is important also in the process that we ensure sustainability of the results of these actions. Let us not forget that too many women and men in this sector are living under the poverty line and are relying on natural resources for their food and economic resilience. They deserve our attention, and it is in this context that our action must reach out to them. We should leave no one behind in the process. We look forward to your valuable experience and insights and to this partnership. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to conclude by quoting Frans Timmermans, the Executive Vice President for the European Union Green Deal, who said, and I quote, "Healthy oceans are a precondition for a thriving blue economy. Pollution, overfishing, and habitat destruction, coupled with the effects of climate crisis, all threaten the rich marine biodiversity that the blue economy depends on. We must change the tack and develop a sustainable blue economy where environmental protection and economic activities go hand in hand," end of quote. We therefore look forward to a very fruitful forum over the next 4 days. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for bringing us closer home to fisheries. And also as a reminder, we can be able to do all other economic blue economy activities in a Dead Sea, but not the fisheries. Thank you so much. We also have one partner, that is SIDA, but unfortunately they were unable to come to join us today, but they will be there tomorrow, and they are supporting the aquatic biodiversity conservation project that is housed under AU-IBAR in Nairobi. So they will be giving their remarks tomorrow. So we welcome you for tomorrow's forum. As we come closer home, Kenya has made a lot of strides towards blue economy. And right now, we do have a ministry that recognizes and houses the blue economy. And that is the importance. And when it comes to Council of Governors, they also have a blue economy committee. And but we are grateful that that the organizers saw it fit to have us in our county of Mombasa, county number 001. It is the gateway to Kenya in terms of development and even in terms of entry into Kenya. So we want to take this opportunity to welcome the Governor of Mombasa, Honorable Abdulswamad Sharif Nasir, and it is a political seat. So we give with the hands of applause for him to be able to feel at home in the blue space. Karibu. Here we have makofi ya nyayo, where we say 1, 2, 3, then you clap. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So thank you so much. Let's give us the befitting. Kwa heshima na taadhima, makofi. Karibu, ongelea na watu. Asante sana.
Asante. Habari za asubuhi. Bonjour. I'm trying to figure out how many languages we have here. Assalamu alaikum. God is good. Good morning. Good. You'll forgive me for not mentioning everyone by name, but all protocols observed in the interest of time. And I'm sure the delegates who are gathered here today equally wish to see and share the various knowledge. I'm going to try and read what I prepared, but at the same time as I was seated, what probably came off the cuff. First and foremost, as the Governor of Mombasa, I'm filled with immense pride and gratitude for the opportunity to host you all at this remarkable convening. The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, Blue Economy, Knowledge Share Fair. Our vibrant city, revered for its resilient spirit, rich heritage, and passionate pursuit of sustainable growth, is honored to serve as the background for this critical event. We gather today not as individual nations, but as a collective voice of a region firmly united in purpose and resolve. Our forum echoes with a theme of profound importance, leveraging blue economy through efficient small-scale fisheries, management and aquatic biodiversity, conservation to build the Africa that we want. This theme resonates throughout our region, a testament to our shared dedication to integrating economic development with environmental sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, the recognition from the African Union emphasizes the pivotal role the blue economy assumes in our collective journey towards continental advancement. It illuminates our shared conviction in the immense potential of our oceans, rivers, and lakes to drive us towards a flourishing future. A future where economic growth goes hand in hand with inclusivity and sustainability. Every country has a long-term agenda. The African Union Agenda 2063 envisions an Africa where its people enjoy long, healthy, and fulfilling lives, and its economies are diverse, dynamic, and inclusive. The blue economy is fundamental in realizing this vision. In accordance with this agenda, our discussions, our decisions, and our actions during this forum must focus not only on leveraging our blue economy, but doing so in a manner that prioritizes sustainability and inclusivity. As we navigate through this forum, let us remember the essence of the Africa that we want. An Africa that thrives on the wealth of its rivers, guarantees equitable access to these resources, and zealously protects the ecological integrity of its aquatic ecosystem for present and future generations. Dear colleagues, the blue economy carries with it extraordinary promises for our region. Our wetlands, oceans, lakes, rivers are not merely bodies of water. They are deposits of untapped potential, waiting to be utilized. This potential is particularly evident in the areas of small-scale fisheries and aquatic biodiversity. Small-scale fisheries are a vital source of livelihood for our coastal and lakeside communities, providing nourishment, income, and a sense of cultural identity. And for those who are going to be staying here for a while, you might want to try a delicacy called samaki wa kupaka. In Lamu, they have a fish called samaki wa siki, but here we prefer the samaki wa kupaka. It's one of our cultural identity and a signature meal. And by focusing on the efficient management, we reinforce the socio-economic stability of millions while also bolstering the health of our blue resources. Mombasa has currently almost finalized converting all our beach management units into cooperatives and has, through our own source funding, set aside 200 million shillings in partnership with the Agricultural Finance Corporation into a revolving kitty to be able to assist our small-scale fishermen. Likewise, our aquatic biodiversity is an invaluable treasure of ecological wealth. Its conservation is not just an ethical obligation, it's an economic imperative. Our biodiversity underpins the health of our ecosystems, which in turn supports our fisheries, bolsters our tourism, and aids our battle against climate change. Distinguished guests, the challenge that lies before us is to find a balance between utilization and preservation, between meeting today's demands and ensuring the security of tomorrow. It is an intricate task that demands innovative thinking, collaborative efforts, and unwavering commitment. It is, however, well within our grasp. We possess the knowledge, we have the resources, and most importantly, we have the zeal, enthusiasm, and we share a collective will. In our collective endeavor to shape the Africa of our dreams, we imagine a continent that thrives, a continent that coexists in peace, a people who champion sustainability. The destiny of Africa is inseparably intertwined with the well-being of its blue resources. By tapping into the blue economy judiciously and sustainably, we are laying the foundation for an Africa that is robust, prosperous, and respects the balance of nature. As we share knowledge, engage in debates, and foster collaboration during this forum, let this vision be our North Star. Let us bear in mind that our actions today will determine the Africa of tomorrow. We stand at the threshold of a transformative era, an era marked by growth, sustainability, and unity. It is my sincere hope that discussions during this knowledge share fair will spark a blaze of insights that will guide us towards the Africa that we all deserve. In conclusion, as we delve into the deep conversation, let us take a moment to enjoy the ambience and rich culture that Mombasa, our gracious host city, has to offer. Mombasa is a city full of hope and resilience, has stood the test of time. Our city mirrors the vision of Africa, resilient in the face of adversity, diverse in culture, and hopeful for a prosperous future. We, as a city, in the prospects of growing our blue economy, have recently advertised a partnership proposal for coming up with an inter-county and inter-town and inter-sub-county water transportation system. We're soon advertising for a partnership to put up one of the best exhibition centers within the country, if not the region, and why not the whole of Africa as well. And I invite you to immerse yourself in its unique blend of history and modernity. Its harmonious blend of cultures, its beautiful gastronomy, and its warm-hearted people. As you depart from here, take back not just the knowledge we've shared, but also take back the story of a city called Mombasa, a city that stands as a beacon of the Africa that we all envision and wish to share. And as I take my seat before I invite the chair of the Blue Economy in the Council of Governors and my colleague and elder Issa Timami, I just want to state we have one role here. We have one law. I'm trying to look at a legal way to actually make this pass. And I've been told that it might be a challenge, but we have one law here. And our law is simple. When you come to Mombasa, please make sure you finish all your money here. Don't go back with any of it. Thank you very much and welcome to Mombasa. Karibuni Mombasa. And I take the opportunity to invite my elder, the chair of the Blue Economy and the governor of the beautiful county of Lamu, Issa Timami. Karibu sana.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Hamujambo. First, let me appreciate my brother, His Excellency Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir, Governor 001, for welcoming us to Mombasa and for really marketing Mombasa. I think as CEOs of our various counties, our main responsibility is to market our counties. So ladies and gentlemen, you will excuse us when you hear us delving and talking about our counties. Otherwise, we will not be voted again. Let me first recognize the presence of His Excellency, the Ambassador of Sudan, my dear brother, Mr. Kamal Gubar. Let me also appreciate Her Excellency Dr. Fatuma of Kenya's representative to IGAD, Mr. Madab Balu of European Union, Mr. Fokat, the Director, Indian Ocean Commission, Mrs. Helen Goibama, Fisheries Officer, AU IBA, and the representative of our CS, Salim Boria, and all distinguished ladies and gentlemen. As you've been told, my name is Issa Timami. I am the governor of Lamu County in Kenya, and I'm also the chair of the Council of Governors Blue Economy Committee. I'm honored to speak to you as we address a very apt building the Africa we want by leveraging the blue economy, small-scale fisheries management, and aquatic biodiversity conservation. Let me compliment IGAD, AU, and the supporting partners for holding this very important forum. We really appreciate. Let me first talk about Lamu. As I said, that is our principal objective, and this is an important forum. Lamu County is one of the 6 Kenyan coastal counties and covers an area of 6,607 square kilometers. We border the Republic of Somalia in the northeast, the Indian Ocean to the south, and the county consists of a vast mainland and 65 islands, forming the Lamu archipelago. 27% of my county's population lives on 5 islands, and these islands cover only 3% of the county's landmass. But as I mentioned, it hosts 27% of our population. We have a coastline of 150 kilometers. You see, my brother didn't mention the coastline they cover. And we have rich biodiversity and unique ecosystem, marine and terrestrial wildlife. The Lamu Archipelago is a significant world ecological and cultural heritage and a gazetted UNESCO World Heritage Site. We boast of hosting nearly 65% of Kenya's mangrove forests. A visit to Lamu guarantees you a humbling experience and a site of endemic marine biodiversity, diverse coral reefs, and site of seagrass beds, sandbars, lagoons, and creeks. This supports a lucrative fishing industry, which has been the main economic lifeline for the people of Lamu for centuries. Now, with regard to this forum, I'm very pleased to join you here today as we deliberate on the importance of regional integration and how it can contribute and bolster economic growth and ensure biodiversity conservation through our shared blue resources such as the Indian Ocean, Lake Victoria, and Lake Turkana, amongst others. As you are all aware, Kenya has a devolved system of government, and before we delve deeper into the discussion, it is important to recognize the fact that whereas county governments, in the case of Kenya, as well as other subnational governments, may not directly have a documented role in regional integration and development, but their contribution cannot be overlooked. We must appreciate that subnational governments play a critical role in identifying and addressing common challenges by the region, such as environmental degradation, infrastructure deficits, and social and economic disparities. In this regard, I again wish to thank IGAD and the African Union Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources for this invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm aware that we already have in place the African Union Blue Economy Strategy, which when read together with and implemented with the Sustainable Development Goals, can bring a great deal of transformation within the region. Both the goals and the strategy have a resolve to maximize on the potential of our blue economy resources to ensure that we address the challenges such as poverty alleviation, food and nutrition security, affordable and clean energy, as well as climate action, which we all face in the region. These initiatives and commitments aim to foster cooperation and collaboration among countries in the region and promote sustainable development of our marine and coastal resources, as well as address the common aforementioned challenges. Speaking from a county government point of view, we on the ground who constantly seek to address these challenges and maximize on the sustainable use of our blue economy resources have made efforts, adopted strategies, and translated them into the local context by appreciating specific challenges and opportunities within our jurisdictions and tailored policies and programs accordingly. For example, in Lamu County, we have incorporated issues of marine spatial planning in our county integrated development plan and ensure that we plan our land-sea space for purposes of sustainability. Lamu County, as with other counties with shared blue resources within the country and the region, generally, the focus is on developing and enhancing the adaptive capacity and resilience of our people who depend majorly on these resources. We in the region, no matter what level of government, have the potential to enhance our regional integration and conserve our biodiversity. In order to do this, we need to forge strategic partnership so as to maximize all forms of cooperation for sustainable development of the blue economy sector. This we can do through collaborative management of our marine resources and through regional cooperation. We can share knowledge, experience, and resources to ensure that these resources are used sustainably. Secondly, in order to enhance economic growth, we should promote sustainable tourism, fisheries, and aquaculture, among other activities, to create jobs and generate income for our local communities. In addition, we should thrive to protect our marine biodiversity by promoting sustainable practices that reduce the impact of human activities on the ocean environment. Lastly, the place of research and innovation cannot be left out. Through our school programs, including our technical, vocational education and training institutions, in addition to our research institutions, we should encourage our youth and institutions to develop innovative technologies and practices that promote sustainability and conservation. This will help enhance knowledge and understanding, as well as create interest with the youth for the opportunities in the blue economy sector. In conclusion, I would like to emphasize the importance of partnerships across board by working together with all stakeholders across the region and providing a platform such as this for cooperation and collaboration. We will truly maximize the potential of our blue economy resources in the region. Let me finally just say one word, which I am very passionate about. Allow me to mention the solid waste menace. The United Nations report states that annually, more than 8 million tons of plastics end up in oceans. I agree with those scientists who indicate that by 2050, our oceans will possibly have more plastic than fish. This level of pollution is also heavily experienced by coastal communities and governments. May I use this platform to ask of all the nations in the world to make deliberate efforts to address the plastic question in our seas and other water bodies. Our systems are literally choking. Majority of the island states and coastal communities such as those in Lamu, also rely significantly on tourism. We need clean beaches, free of plastics, to allow tourism and biodiversity to thrive. Thank you very much, and I wish all of us successful deliberations.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for those remarks. They say for a sector to thrive, it must have political goodwill. We have had the political goodwill on the ground by the practitioners themselves. The people, they are leading people dependent on the blue economy. Every day they wake up, they see it, and they speak for it. We have now blue economy at the table, not on the table. And that is so important. Another round of applause for our governors for supporting and having time for us. We now want to invite the representative of the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs of the Republic of Kenya to deliver his speech because he is away. Thank you, Dr. Kundu.
Thank you, Moderator. Your Excellency, the Governor of Lamu and Chair of the Blue Economy Agenda under the Council of Governors, Honorable Isatimami, Your Excellency, our host governor and Governor of Mombasa, Honorable Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir, the Head of Mission to IGAD, Dr. Fatuma Adan, the representative of the AU IBA, representative of the European Union, who is also the project manager of EcoFish program, all protocols observed. I'm here to read the speech of the Cabinet Secretary, who had wished to be with us, but because of other official and prior commitments, he could not make it to be here, but we have the full support of his office. So before I read the speech, I would like to convey the greetings from the Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs, and also appreciate the efforts by the organizers of this fair, IGAD, AU IBA, and the EcoFish program. So I read the speech now. Speech by His Excellency Salim Mvurya, the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs, at the opening ceremony for Blue Economy Knowledge and Experience Sharing Fair, leveraging blue economy through efficient small-scale fisheries management and aquatic biodiversity conservation to build the Africa we want. At Nyali Sun Africa Resort, Mombasa, today, 13th of June, 2023. Our distinguished partners, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to welcome you all to this auspicious forum that marks the beginning of our first day of the Blue Economy Knowledge Sharing Fair. The importance of this gathering cannot be gainsaid. It does not only bring us together as familiar players in the blue economy, fisheries, and aquatic development subsectors, but it also accords us the rare opportunity to meet and interact with our important partners, whose collaboration is important in championing regional and national efforts to mainstream the blue economy sector to rank among the most important in our economies. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of Kenya has recognized the importance of blue economy to the national development and as a frontier for investment. Tapping the potential in the blue economy provides room for economic growth, development or to enhance the livelihoods for our people, create employment opportunities, and reduce poverty. The fisheries and aquaculture subsector contributes significantly to food and nutrition security, as well as trade. The Kenya government is undertaking policy, legal, and institutional reforms to create an enabling environment for sustainable exploitation of blue economy resources in the country. These include, among others, 1, creation of new institutions to support the fisheries sector. We have Kenya Fisheries Service, which is mandated to conserve, manage, and develop the fisheries resources in the country. We have the Kenya Fish Marketing Authority, mandated to market fish and fishery products from Kenya. Fish Levy Trust Fund, that is responsible for sustainable funding mechanisms. The Kenya Coast Guard Services, protection of marine resources. The Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, which is mandated to undertake research in marine and freshwater fisheries, aquaculture, environment and ecological studies for sustainable exploitation of fisheries and other aquatic resources. Then we also have the Kenya Fishing Industries Corporation that is responsible for exploiting fishery resources in the Kenya fisheries water and high seas by promoting the establishment, development, and efficiency of business engaged in fishing-related activities. Number 2, we are also reviewing policies and programs towards enhancing access to affordable food and also address the adverse effects of climate change. And number 3, we have had the development and validation of a national blue economy strategy, which is aligned to the AU Blue Economy Strategy as well as IGAD, to create synergy among the various sectors and also provide an avenue for exploration and exploitation of the opportunities in the blue economy, which is presenting great opportunity for job creation as well as sustainable livelihoods. Ladies and gentlemen, policy reforms has identified fisheries as a new growth sector that has built over the last 2 decades in terms of fish production, which has increased from 9 billion Kenya shillings, equivalent to 67.6 million USD in 2008, to over 30 billion Kenya shillings, equivalent to 228 million USD in 2021. And to ensure that the momentum stays up, the government is building capacity for local communities to venture into deep sea fishing, investments in infrastructure for post-harvest management, and then we have also fish stocking and restocking programs. In order to empower and provide support to grassroots communities, the government this year has adopted a value chain approach to budgeting and has committed a total of 267.7 billion Kenya shillings, roughly over 2 billion USD, in 9 value chains which will mainstream the bottom-up transformation agenda. The agenda is about supporting the grassroots communities with the focus to the youth and women. That is in the government ruling party manifesto. One of those value chains is the blue economy and fisheries value chain that will create opportunities for employment through manufacturing and processing, and also income generation, revenue collection, reducing poverty and cost of living, food and nutrition, rural development with a focus on the youth and women, as I said earlier. The government is encouraging the beach management units, as it was said by His Excellency, our host governor, to join the cooperative movement in order to make savings and benefit from lower loan interest rates to help them grow their fish businesses. The initiative is going to be a major boost to the growth of the small-scale fishing and will improve the livelihoods of the coastal and riparian communities. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize the crucial role of development partners in one, sustainable conservation, management and development of fisheries and other aquatic resources to enhance the livelihood of communities dependent on the fishing. Number two, in the development of the blue economy sector to contribute to food and nutrition security, create employment opportunities, wealth creation. And number three, for sustainable development of aquaculture. Thanks to our partnerships with one International Fund for Agricultural Development, which is supporting programs that wants to transition subsistence fish farmers into semi-commercial business. We have the World Bank that is supporting coastal small-scale fishers to improve their livelihoods, and the FAO in the conservation of coral reef fisheries. Through the EU, we have the Ecofish program, as well as the Go Blue. And also we recognize our collaborators, IGAD, as well as the AU, IBA. Distinguished guests, the blue economy and fisheries sector growth in Kenya is facing setbacks related to a number of factors. This includes insecurity at the transboundary use of natural resources, destruction of habitats, impacts of climate change on the environment, overexploitation of our resources, illegal and unreported and regulated fishing activities, and also the advent of invasive species, among others. As a measure to counter the impacts of climate change, in 2013, the government of Kenya launched the first community-driven blue carbon project on Earth, known as Mikoko Pamoja. Mikoko is mangrove, and Pamoja is unity in the conservation of the mangroves. This was in Kwale County to restore and protect mangroves through sale of carbon credits as a nature-based solution to address impacts of climate change on fishing communities. The project currently generates an annual income of over approximately 20,000 USD from the sale of over 33,000 tons of carbon credits, which is plowed back into the community to improve access to clean water for over 6,000 residents, providing education materials to over 900 school children. The protection of mangrove environment has attracted ecotourism and beekeeping activities that provide alternative livelihoods for fishers who have been depending on the fishing, and this one reduces pressure on small-scale fisheries. Ladies and gentlemen, despite its recognition, the potential of the blue economy sector in Kenya remains the least understood area in the economy, and thus the least exploited. So as we gather here to share knowledge, experiences, and scientific advances, we are shaping opinions, fostering social and behavior change to bring about wider ownership, participation, and investment in this vital sector. It is our hope that this forum will enable us to deliberate and chart the best ways forward. Secondly, it will forge links and establish lasting collaborations, and also demystify our professional backgrounds and come up with a partnership for the sustainable development of blue economy in our regions. Ladies and gentlemen, with those few remarks, it is my pleasure to declare this meeting officially open. End of the speech.
Thank you so much. Thank you for those remarks. You'll pass our regards and our congratulations to the minister. We have felt his presence through this powerful speech. And it has become clear that we need collaborations between ministries, between sectors, between partners, and the institutions, including the stakeholders and the shareholders. And it is clear each one of us has a role to play in a particular area. And to sum it all, I will just give a small story, the dignitaries allowing, of a young girl who was in school, and they were taken for a field trip. And remember, it has come out clear that we have to integrate the blue economy in the education system. So of course, that was not there, and therefore, she was blind in terms of blue economy, but she was told of the big five. And so when she went to the field, she was looking for the big five. And she saw the elephant, she saw the buffaloes, she saw the lion, and she saw the giraffe. And she was mesmerized by the giraffe. And when she came, of course, in the introduction, they were shown the earthworms, they were shown the soils and the trees, but that was not what she could see. She saw with the experience and the information she had from the classroom. So when they came back, she was asked the parents asked what she had seen. And in her mind, she was very clear, she saw the giraffe. And the parent wondered, didn't you go for the ride? Didn't you see anything else? I saw the giraffe. Why are you talking about the giraffe? It was tall, it was beautiful, it was elegant. It ate the cleanest parts of the tree, you know, and therefore, and it could see far where nobody else could see. That was what was painted in her mind. But when she went to college, she now learned about ecology, and she knew that that earthworm which she ignored and wondered why they're wasting time about was holding the whole ecosystem. I'm talking about that, and that girl is today standing here, called Susan Imende, who now champions the smallest part of the blue economy, and that is the small-scale fishers and the living oceans and seas and swamps and wetlands that we have to support the blue economy. So each one of us has a role to make sure that this ecosystem is holistic. And even the education system, I remember one time we invited the Ministry of Education and they wondered why we are here talking about blue economy. But they forget they shape the world, they shape the mind of the youngsters. So let us work together to be able to make sure that we have a sustainable blue economy from the word go. So from here, thank you for allowing me to share my story. We are going to see the innovations, the technologies that are outside the box by the various institutions, and therefore we are going to launch the exhibition, and I would request our Chair Blue Economy, the representative of the CS, and the governor, and the whole table to follow me outside. But as you leave and join us in the exhibition booths, please leave your headphones on the seat. So welcome. Please join me as we move to the outside. Let us give room for the front table to move first before we join them. Thank you.